all the Chiefs fans want to see them play. Because, Mark might say they're not the team that plays tiki-taka, but we know that Amakosi don't like to win if they're not winning nicely. They want to win and they want to feel like they're watching beautiful football as well. You heard what Fadlu said. You know the players are Chiefs. You know how fans of the game that love Chiefs perceive Chiefs to be. Do the two, based on all the information collected and what Fadlu's told us, do the two match up for you?
It does. If you look how he was playing with young Africans, I remember I saw him when he was coaching Marumo, when young Africans played Marumo Gallants in the semi-finals of the CAF Confederation Cup last season. Even though he might not be playing like the most attractive football, but he's good clinical in terms of attacking. He creates a lot of chances. That's why they beat Marumo Gallants convincingly. Sure, he lost in the final. He won the league twice in Tanzania. I honestly think he's a highly experienced coach. The fact that he's almost 1 step, 1 inch. If he didn't lose the last game, of course, the league in Morocco was always guaranteed. And then that one in Tanzania, he won the last 2 league titles. He's that kind of a Chiefs coach who was going to really improve Chiefs. Chiefs were, I'm not saying they were going to win the league. They were not going to win the league, but they were going to maybe in the top 3 teams. That's how you look at it. If you look at how he is already in Tanzania, lost 3 matches, drawn 5. I mean, Morocco lost 3, drawn 5. He's not been invisible, just like Fadlu David's team. Then they drew 9 matches. You can see that, okay, maybe the competition is very tough between the two. But Nabi, in your first season to do what he did, you will think that the Chiefs lost a very highly qualified coach there. He was going to improve the team in terms of experience. You can see the kind of...
I mean, they haven't quite lost him yet, Nadim. There's still a chance, surely, no?
No, I'm just saying... remember,
last season.
Remember now... Okay, I'm talking about now that they've lost the league, basically.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because if the match, if they don't win, if they win the last match, but if Raja win that match, the league is done. But
so do you think Chiefs fans are the kind of fans that are going to be okay with what you're saying? That, we're not playing the best looking football, like you're saying when you saw them against Marumo. They weren't playing attractive football, but they were playing direct football. Like you heard Coach Fadlu say there, free kicks are important to him and winning the match. Do you think that's enough?
Exactly, it's highly enough. That's Stuart Baxter, the way he won the 2 league titles in a row. Remember, he was not playing the most attractive football, was a free kick specialist, and the corner kicks, Chiefs were deadly. But the fact is, when they win, Kaizer Chiefs, they will be happy. No matter Stuart Baxter, most of the games in those 2 league titles, won. Most of the matches was 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. They were defensive. Sometimes you'll go to FNP Stadium when they were playing Pirates. You will see like 7 defenders.
Because I remember Gavin being, the thinking and the hoorah around Gavin being, we don't like the way he plays. I mean, this is the man that made it to the top of the Champions League.
That's the thing. Gavin Hunt in the league was not winning. Chiefs were mathematically fighting to survive relegation playoffs. That team was it did so well in the Champions League. But what got fired Hunt Gavin the Chiefs, because that was not Gavin Hunt. It was the form that form that was in the league. In the league, he was so bad. He was like mathematically. We're looking just like, can Chiefs survive playoffs or no? That's what got
basically like what happened this season.
Exactly.
Biso.
It's a promising review given by Fadlu Davids, and who better than the coach that's actually been going head to head with Unabi for the entire season. I think the most interesting part for me from what he said was that he said it's very difficult to play against Nabi's teams, and this is the case of Chiefs that a few weeks ago we had a coach that is relegation threatened talking about how he couldn't wait to play a Kaizer Chiefs. That's not the mentality that coaches should have when they think about playing a Kaizer Chiefs. Now, if you look at what he said about Nabi's style of play, the directness, I mean, even if you look at the number of goals that they've scored 63 goals in the league this season. That's a lot of goals. If you look at the team that's top right now, Iraja, they've scored 49 goals. If you look at Sundowns in the league this season, that we're saying was so amazing, they scored 52 goals. He's got 63 goals. With the Younger, last season, he had 61 goals. So he's got a team that scores a lot of goals. Coach Fadlu also spoke about how he scores goals from a range of attacking options. He also scores goals from set pieces. You look back at Kaizer Chiefs back in the day, they used to corner kicks for Kaizer Chiefs used to look like penalties. They used to score from corner kicks all the time. So they need to, right? Yes. So they need that culture back where they can score from different mediums of scoring and play attractive football again. So hopefully they do get it over the line. The only hope is that they do it in time, because if he comes in right before the season starts, as what they usually do, he won't have a preseason. And already that gap from the last time that they won a trophy is 9.5 years by the end of this year, which is their first chance at a trophy. if they don't win that trophy, it becomes 10 years because Nedbank Cup and the league are at the end of the season. So they need to do it quickly.
Piso's done the maths on this one. 1822. We're speaking a little bit there about what Fadlu Davids had to say on Nazruddin Nabi. We had Fadlu David on the show on Wednesday, an exclusive all the way from Morocco. He also had a couple of words from Maritzburg United, but being the humble man that he is, I think he's basically saying, I've forgotten, I've moved on, and I wish them the very best, is what he had to say. But where there's plenty of blood lost and no happiness, is two people that don't know whether they're friends or not. Kurushi Mpatlele, who is the chairman of Baroka, alongside Dan Dance. Dan Dance put on special leave while the man that was here giving us no answers, Morgan Mamila, takes over at Baroka. They've played one game in the playoffs. But why was Dan suspended? Have a listen to this.
It's on suspension because we got the hebe that there's something he's doing behind our back.
What is the hebe that you're hearing then, Chair?
The hebe we are hearing is that there's some the club owners or the club chairman which are phoning him, discussing about their interest in some of our players, and he doesn't disclose that to us.
I mean, it's a little bit longer than that, so let me give you context. When I did press him to ask, to say, where are you hearing this? Has he spoken to the players? The chairman just heard the mahebe, and that's it. That decision, according to him, is solely based on the mahebe that he heard. Dan Dance got a text from a chairman that he's worked for in the DSTV Premiership inquiring about a player. He then takes this and shows it to his technical team to say, Beganlo, utini ngale player. Somebody in the technical team goes and tells the chairman. The chairman says, nope, let's get rid of him. Let's put him on suspension. Let's get someone else. We spoke to Dan Dance, and this was him on the alleging of collusion.
I got a text from one person, and I told my technical team, I said, look at this guy. He's saying he wants this player. Just one message. But I didn't take it serious. I have never spoken to anyone about any player. I wouldn't give any player to anybody. I'm not in the business of giving people players and all of that. I don't deal with issues of players and what they want to do and what. I want players to choose for themselves.
I don't even know what I'm asking here, Mark, but I've never heard of a worse reason to put a coach on ice.
But Andile, isn't it in your interview we weren't even sure if they were friendly or not because there were contradicting statements made about whether they can actually sit around the table or not?
Well, I mean, what the chairman says is that they're not friends. He says Dan Dance is an employee and he's Dan's employer, full stop. They are not friends. Dan says they are friends because on his birthday, which is a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now, he bought him some drinks and meat.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Why are you smiling, Mark? Mark, why are you smiling?
For me, Andile, I must tell you what the most disappointing part for me is if Baroka played badly against us, then, I'd be like, okay, well, it's okay because, they weren't really doing well anyway. They struggled and, they have no hope in the playoff. But that Baroka performance, I mean, it was an absolutely top draw performance from both teams. And ultimately it took one moment, to really seal the game. And so I feel like Baroka was still very much alive in this playoff based on that performance in their opening game. And they just needed, the opportunity. And so this is just going to destabilize that cup, the playoff run, because to have a new coach come in now, try and change things, do things his own way, it's counterproductive, really. Based on that performance, I think it's sad that Coach Dan is not going to be there for the rest of the playoff.
I don't think it's sad. The owner of Baroka was not impressed with that losing because you can play well in the playoffs as long as you don't win. It's all what counts is the points, not ball position or how attractive you were. I feel that the owner really wants to come back to the PSL because he has improved the facilities. There's a village there at Baroka, so he wants to see the team in the PSL. He feels Morgan Memela became available after what happened at Chippa United. So he feel, because Morgan Mamila, remember, he's coached Baroka before. He feels he can improve the team just like he did when under Chobejana when the team was promoted. So that's the reason I feel he was sacked. I don't think it's all about the phones, SMS, and all those kind of things. He just saw a very good opportunity. He knew that maybe Morgan Mamila is not going to be able to work well with Dan Malesela. That was the chance of getting rid of Malesela. Then get a guy maybe he trusts that has worked for him before. He feels he can take the team to the PSL. For me, that's what I see in this matter. All the SMS thing, I just think it's an excuse.
Yeah, it's a bit sad though. It's a bit of a circus, at the end of the day. To give that reason to say that it's because of rumors of the coach speaking to whoever.
Get it straight. It's my heavy.
Okay, my heavy. Of him speaking to other coaches or of him trying to sell. Firstly, Del Marisela can't sell your players. That's up to you as the owner. But he spoke of how this he feels like this my heavy are going to destabilize the team. There's nothing that is going to destabilize the team more than changing a coach at the beginning of playoffs after you already played one game. Morgan Mamila, as good as he might be, comes into a team that doesn't really know him that well, the players that is, and doesn't really know the style of play that he's going to be trying to implement. So it would have been better to continue with a coach that came in and saved them while they were still at the
15th place.
bottom. Yes, they'd only won 3 of their first 5 games. He came in, he won 5 of his first 7 games, drew the other 2, and took them all the way to the playoffs. So it's sad the way that it's.
So what I'm gonna say, if Mo can promote the team to the PSL,
congratulations to him.
I'm still gonna say it's sad.
For Dan, it's still going to be sad. Because
it's not about Dan, it's about the team. No.
Yes,
the honest agenda is not about
Dan.
No, it's not about Dan now. It's about the team to be in the PSL. He feels Morgan is the kind of a guy who can take his team to the PSL. Morgan became available, then he trusts him that he can do better than Dan.
And be honest.
He doesn't want to. He did say he's not going to reveal everything in the media. I listened to that interview. All of it. He doesn't want to become honest. He just wants to use the SMS as a scapegoat. But we know that he's not telling the truth.
Let's move on because we need to speak about the game Bafana Bafana. But breaking news from this afternoon. Orlando Pirates have parted ways with some players. We saw the first one, I think was earlier on
Makaring,
when Fortune Makaringa left. Well, they've released 4 more. Okay. Tabang Munare, Kermit Romeo Erasmus, 2 goalkeepers in Richard Ofori and Siabonga Mponchani. Piso?
It's understandable. With the goalkeepers, they've got 2 quality young goalkeepers that are there now. Mponchane for years has been a thorn for Orlando Pirates fans. Whenever they see him on the lineup, there's always those complaints that he's going to make a mistake. Richard Ofori, the injuries, we're working against him for a very long time now. They've got 2 young goalkeepers there now that you look at and you say probably part of the future of Bafana even, in the long run. So it's understandable for them. Tabang Munare, I'm sure his contract was expiring already in this month, so it's understandable with him. If you look at Kermit Erasmus, the number of games that he's played, I think he's only played 11 games. And even in those games, it was just minutes here and there. If you count up those minutes, it's about 6 games. He scored 1 goal. So it's understandable why he's leaving when you've got a Mabasa scoring so many goals, when you've got a Mahopa who's a Bafana international. He scored a couple of goals also, so it's understandable to see those players leaving.
Nadim?
They were expected to go because Ofori's knee injury has been a problem for the past 2 years. He has never recovered from that knee injury because he didn't do an operation. We always knew that is useless. Both of them actually with Mponchan. With Monare, again, he's not been playing. We hear that he might go to SuperSport United, so that could be part of the reasons that he's leaving. Actually, the Pirates, they wanted to release this guy before the new Rivero arrived. Remember when Ngaz and Fadlu Davids were coaches, he was released. Then the coach recalled him back. So they always wanted him to be gone. Then when you look at Mponchane, I think he's saved his time for almost 10 years at Pirates. Actually, I think he's been very lucky to be there because he's one of those guys who will be remembered with high-profile mistakes. I think Pirates are doing well. It shows that maybe they want to compete with Sundowns next season. Now, the other player that they need to release is the captain, Innocent Maela. Yeah. They are doing well. They are releasing players.
What's wrong with Maela?
He's one of the worst Pirates captain since I've been watching
But
Pirates.
Never mind captaincy then. Talk to me about him
as a player. He makes mistakes. You saw that goal that was scored by Zwane in the final. He's that kind of a guy where once he's there, a mistake on his side, expect it. He doesn't live to the team like Lakila Kwati, Benedict Flagazi, all the Pirates, even Opamanyisa. I've seen so many Pirates teams. This one is the worst Pirates player to make him a captain. He's not even a proper left back to start at Pirates. He's not even good enough to be a player at Pirates. He's
I think you're being harsh.
No, I'm not being harsh.
No, you're being harsh
I
on
watch
Mayela.
in terms of what? If you look at his form, it doesn't improve the team. He's not the kind of a leader that you want.
And hence I say to you, maybe from a leadership point of view, you can have that conversation. But from a player point of view...
No, from a player... That's why they converted the Hoto from wherever he was up front. They make him a left back. While he was there, he was not injured. They've tried so many players in that position. That's why sometimes they have to put Mark as a left back and Makarenga as a right back. They've tried so many position to take.
No, I think you're being harsh.
No,
let's hear from Mark.
They even push offensive players to be left back and put so that he be on the bench. The coach has tried so many times.
No, hold on.
To say,
Mark,
I don't want to.
I think he's being harsh. Mark, are you there?
No, he agrees, but he's scared.
Yeah, I think Nadim's being very harsh, especially on Mayela. I think he's a fantastic player. In terms of his work rate, his effort, his desire. I don't think he's necessarily a great leader. And so maybe there's some justification to say he maybe doesn't deserve to be captain or he's not a great leader in that regard. But to just write him off as a player in that manner, I don't think is right. I think he's good in his own right. And if you look at his performance I mean, you can talk about the goal that Zwane scored. I wouldn't single him out and say he was at
hold on. Let him finish.
Yeah, I have a question now.
When he's done.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that he was solely at fault for the goal that Zwane scored in the final. And if you look at his overall performance in the final, I don't think he did that bad at all. When you're speaking about Hoto, the only reason is there's a new trend in football where coaches are preferring to play wingers in fullback positions because they get forward a lot, and that's why Hoto was kind of playing in that left fullback position. It's just modern trends, and that's why Makaringe was playing at right fullback. But that's literally, like I said, just trends in football. It's not to say that it's because Mayela wasn't giving the coach anything. I think there's still great value in Mayela, and I think he still has quite a bit to offer Pirates.
Okay, why Marco was playing ahead of him last season when he was full fit? If it's that good as you say, why Marco was playing ahead of him as a left back at Pirates?
Well,
if it's that good as you say.
I think Paseka Marco, he's one of my favorite players at Pirates. So it's a case of healthy competition, having two fullbacks who are competing for a place in the team. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't automatically write him off as a Pirates player. He's still a good player. So both Marco and Mayela, I think, either one you put, I think they offer different things. I think Marco is much better going forward. I think Mayela probably is a better defender than Marco, but there's not much to separate the two players.
You watch football? Okay, last question. You watch football?
I don't have a last question,
Okay,
Nadim.
what team do you know that has a captain?
On your Facebook, you can do the last question.
What team does you know that has? What team do you know that has a captain that is not a starter?
There's a lot. I had captains in my playing days. I had captains that were not starters. Goodman Mazibuku,
No, man, don't talk about 20 years ago. I'm talking about now.
It's normal to have players who don't necessarily, it's about their leadership, their role in the team. Maybe they're not captains on the field, but they're captains away from the field. And
yeah,
so
then he must captain away from the field.
Switch his mic off. You can join him on his Facebook page for more of this insanity. Linda Lamoya is joining us in a few. We're going to take a very short ad break before we go on and speak about the Nigeria game. Then we'll have enough time to take your calls on 086 000 2160 or WhatsApp on 060 552 7303.
Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM.
My good friend Omar Akatugba, Nigeria versus South Africa. Nigerians didn't treat us well. I mean, when you look at the travel arrangements, no, the airport is closed, but let's put that behind, Omar.
It's also because of the airlines are on strike. So I want to apologize on behalf of Nigeria. We are usually very hospitable. We are not. We like to win on the pitch, bro. We don't like to play.
Omar got an exclusive with South African Football Association President president, Danny Jordan, who doesn't talk to me.
No, Andile, he spoke to me because of you. To be honest, I don't know how you people see Danny Jordan. If you are a Nigerian, if you have a Danny Jordan, you feel blessed.
The bar in Nigeria set very low, my friend. Let's agree on that.
No, that's very true. That's very true. I can't even argue that.
6 to 7 p.m. We don't play games. We wrote the game.
I love this station.
Metro FM. It's where you want to be.
Right, I want to make a quick call because I see Mazola Mulefa at Super Journal has tweeted something, and we are kind enough to have access to him. So let's see if he'll be able to pick up. You're live on the air. How are you?
Hey, I'm driving out of Soweto here. It's very dark. I'm trying to find my way home. What's up?
Were you busy making a deal come together there? I hear there's a deal in Soweto.
No, me, I'm just a journalist. I don't break any deals.
Well, you break stories at least. Talk to me. What's going on in Soweto?
Yeah, look, there's developments from Swallows' point of view. Obviously, that this week that Swallows, the for sale sign will be going up. I think it was yesterday when we spoke, I said Abraham Sello, Farouk Kadodia as well were keen. It now seems Abraham Sello, who's the owner of Marumo Gallants, is a favorite to get the deal done. It's a matter of due diligence is being checked, as I had said to you earlier on. I think it's almost 90. I would say 90% done, depending on ratification.
So Marumo Gallants might be coming back to the DSTV Premiership through buying Morocco Swallows.
Absolutely. If a deal is agreed and the due diligence is done and the money is in the bank account, my understanding is that as we've been predicting that Swallows, the owner, is keen to sell. He's feel like he's taken it as far as he possibly can, and now needs to hand it over to someone else, even if it means the name Swallows does not remain.
Which would be the case in this instance?
In this instance, obviously, Abraham Sello would then rename the team Marumo Gallants and then also try to sell his status in the lower division. Farouk Kadodia is also trying to do the same. He's trying to sell his status in the lower division in the Motsepe Foundation, so that he obviously comes up with the money to make an offer to Swallows as well, or any other club in the top flight for that matter that is keen on selling their status.
Listen, your time, you don't want to be part of the Podcast Friday, guys, so your time is up. Thank you very much, though. We appreciate you. He's out of here. That's Mazola Mulefa with that exclusive. There you have it. Let's go to Lindela Moyo, because there's a big game. You can join myself, Aaron Mokwena, and Coach Lulu in just about an hour on SABC 1 as we give you this huge clash between South Africa and Nigeria. Lindela Moyo at Optajabu, welcome.
Good evening, Andile, to you and the listeners and everyone in the studio.
Well, there you have it. You have an exclusive, so you can go start looking up Marumo Gallants Swallows deal and how it's all going to go down. I mean, gee whiz, what a turn of events.
What a turn of events, Andile. These kind of events are actually very confusing for the stats. So
I can imagine, because, it's this team, but formerly known as this one. How do you even capture it?
Exactly.
But let's get to something we know how to capture. It's Bafana Bafana versus Nigeria. We don't have a great record against Nigeria, do we?
No. Bafana versus Nigeria, not a great record. 15 games played against the Super Eagles since the early 90s. And only 2 wins for Bafana Bafana.
In 15 matches, we've beaten Nigeria only twice.
Just twice, unfortunately. And that's counting draws penalty shootouts as draws.
Wow, that's crazy. When were these 2 wins?
So there was a win in 2004, back in early 2000s in Johannesburg, and there was a win in 2017 in Uyo.
That's where they're playing today, Uyo.
That's where they're playing today.
So that's a good omen.
That's a good omen, and hopefully at 9 p.m. or by 11 p.m. it will have a good result.
But here's the thing about Nigeria at home at the moment. They seem to be doing well.
Indeed. Quite tough beating Nigeria away from home. 10 games they've played in the last 2 years at home. and they've won 6, drawn 2, and only lost just the 2 games in those 10.
And it's 1 game a year, because I think it's Tunisia and Guinea-Bissau they lost to in what years?
So 2022 to Tunisia, and then 2023 March they lost to Guinea-Bissau. So yeah, you're looking at an average 1 loss at home a year. So hopefully again.
They haven't had their 2024 loss yet, so it's looking good. But
another omen there.
What's good for Bafana? If you can say, hey, but here's a positive, here's a shining light here. What would it be for Bafana statistically?
Look, the form table favors Bafana. 10 games played in 2024, of course, including some in AFCON, and they've only lost 1 of those 10 games. So you're looking at 2 wins, 7 draws, however, and a single loss in the 10.
7 draws in the last 10 matches.
So only 2 wins.
Only 2 wins.
Only 2 wins. But away from home, a draw could also suffice for tonight. Who knows?
Opta Jabu, how do people help us out to follow the account? What do they do? Please talk to me about this and the Laduma Analytics.
On all social media platforms, under Opta Jabu and Laduma Analytics, they can find us there.
Please go follow them. Do the right thing. Take a break. When we come back, the guys go on about Nigeria before we take your calls.
Welcome to the Urban Rhythm Revolution.
Listen,
Metro FM.
I'm the greatest of all time.
For all things urban,
I love this station.
it's where you want to be. Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM.
He is one of Africa's favorites, and most certainly my favorite, my good friend Omar Akatugba. Nigeria versus South Africa.
This game, I don't think will be much of a difference because nothing much has happened since the AFCON. South Africa has a team that is playing together every time. It's Marumo Swallows against Nigeria.
Sundowns.
Oh, sorry, forgive me. I wanted to say Mamelodi and I said Marumo. Sorry, forgive me. It is Sundowns against Nigeria, and that counts for something for you. Respect to Mokoena, respect to Sitoli, respect to Presitao, respect to Ronwen Williams. I respect South Africa so much right now. With a coach like Hugo Bruce, you guys have a collective, we have more talent, and that always comes to the fore.
6 to 7 p.m. The youth of 2024.
Our education is getting inferior and inferior, more and more, whereby now they were introducing Africans to all the subjects, whereby it was going to make us even more and more difficult to learn.
Your battles may differ from those faced by the youth of 76, but your courage is no less remarkable.
Remember, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
Metro FM, celebrating the leaders of tomorrow, today.
Race for riches with Hollywood Bets. Spin a song, get jackpot race. Bet R2 or more on selected games every Wednesday, Friday and Saturday between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. You could win your share of 3 million rand. Take the spin of a lifetime and play now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. When there's no when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
It's time to carve yourself, because prepping Wena means protecting Yena.
To stay forever Wena, get tested whenever.
Forever ask for consent. Condomize.
My sex if you're not feeling it. Be forever prepped and forever status checked.
Because it's not one or the other.
It's forever Wena. Know your sexual health options and choose you. Visit foreverwena.co.za.
Be the future with Regent Business School. Invest in your future success with our accredited MBAs, postgraduate diplomas, degrees and certificates. We're not just an institution, we're your partners. Our 21st century approach in teaching and learning offers education for today's fast-paced world that allows collaborating, engaging and conquering real-world challenges with 25 years experience in distance learning. Visit regent.ac.za. Mid-year registration now open.
Life isn't always convenient. Like when you don't pack lunch because lunch would be served at the lunchtime meeting with client, but the lunchtime meeting with client got cancelled, and so did your lunch. Luckily, what is convenient is popping over to your nearest Engine Quick Shop & Co. for all the things you need for a delicious lunch. Get amazing deals from Engine Quick Shop & Co. until 30 June 2024 at your convenience. Terms and conditions apply. Engine, with us, you are number one.
Podcast Friday on Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM. Powered by SABC Sport.
It's Podcast Friday on the Mighty Metro FM. After this, I go straight to television, where we're going to be giving you the Nigeria-South Africa game. It's going to be live on SABC 1, so do make sure that you do catch it. The build-up begins at 8 o'clock. Mark, that match, South Africa versus Nigeria, you heard the stats from Opta Jabu. You know the players that Nigeria's got right now. They might not be the golden generation, but surely, maybe even bronze is brewing at the moment as far as the generation is concerned. What do you make of this matchup?
Yeah, I think obviously when you just look back to our match at AFCON, it was very tightly contested. Obviously, we went all the way to penalties. Unfortunately, we lost on penalties. But I don't think there's much to separate the two teams. When you look at this matchup, you have to literally take away where all the respective players are playing. Because if you're going to go based on that, then clearly Nigeria are outright favorites. But South Africa has come together beautifully as a unit, and we've competed really, really well as a collective. And that, you have to give credit to the current coach in Hugo Bruce. I think he's done a fantastic job in bringing this group together, and that's why we are, after our performance at AFCON, we are looked at, and we are, a formidable team, and people do, kind of don't look at us the same way as they did in the past, I think. And Nigeria certainly will not take us for granted. And so I'm really keen on seeing how this unfolds. Away from home, Nigeria are always going to be favorites, but we just need to go out there and compete and hopefully spring the surprise that we did in that same venue.
Okay, I want to press you, but we don't have the time. Pro Pilani is going to be joining us next week, by the way. Says, interestingly, in the 2 wins versus Nigeria, the only 2 wins we had, right? The goalkeepers for both those matches, Itafia and Akpei, both playing in the PSL. Guess who's the keeper for Nigeria now?
No, Nobel.
Where's he playing?
Yeah, but it means nothing. That. So,
Pilani, you're being shut down before you even come to studio.
Yeah, like it.
Talk to me.
Yeah, it's one of Bafana Bafana. People think they've been doing well. Bafana Bafana have not been doing well. That's why Bafana have not been doing well. That's why out of 10 matches, only 2 wins against Benin and against Namibia. So, which is a problem. Bafana Bafana, according to me, they're not expected to beat Nigeria. Nigeria, the best that they see, it's a draw. If you look how Nigeria have started so poorly in the qualifiers, they drew with Lesotho and Zimbabwe. The other game was at home against Lesotho. Sure, they were without their key players, which was Osime, Chukwueze, and Victor Boniface. But now Boniface and Chukwueze, they are there. I'm worried about Bafana Bafana's defenses, to be honest with you, because I saw Grant Kekana is doing interview locally. He's injured. Mvala's off form. The defensive part, we're yet to see this pairing that is going to play with Bafana Bafana. I'm so worried about the defense. That's why I honestly feel that Bafana Bafana, the best that they can do there is a 1-1 draw. After that, I don't see anything besides that.
Well, your patriotism is always appreciated. Piso?
Yeah,
thank you,
Andy. There's a lot of truth in what Nadim is saying, with the fact that we haven't really been winning that many of these qualifiers and stuff. But I think in Nigeria now at the moment is wounded. You've got a Victor Osimhen who's not available. You've got a Trust Ikong who was their captain at AFCON, also not available. You've got Moses Simon who was a threat down that left wing, also not available. So they've got a couple of players that are not available, but they still have a lot of quality in that team, with the Lookman, with the Boniface, both came from winning the Bundesliga. Lookman just put on one of the best performances that we've seen in the Europa final, so they've got a good squad. But I think that the one thing that for Bafana Bafana we can lean on is that performance at AFCON, because we were still playing a very good Nigerian side. We managed to dominate that game. Of course, on the balance of chances, when you look at the chances, it looked like a very balanced game. But in terms of gameplay, we were dominating that game. I think the only issue that we should guard against is where we choose to dominate the game, where we choose to play the ball around. Because if there is a mistake in that defense, and Nigeria wins the ball back, they win it back in a position where they can attack us very easily because they are closer to goal. We've seen the pace that a Lookman has and the creativity he has. We know that the threat that a Boniface carries. Chukwueze also, he has got a lot of pace to burn. So we
guys,
should
you're
make
all
sure
telling me how dangerous this team is. No one's telling me about South Africa and how
I'm
we're
going to get to that.
Oh,
I'm
please.
going to get to that, yes. So they have a lot of ammunition for them. On the other side of it, though, you look at Bafana Bafana, one of the reasons why we didn't win that game was because we didn't take the chances that we created. 100%. We had a Mahopa playing up front. Right now, we've got a Lyle Forster coming back. He's a better finisher than Mahopa. Also gets into the right spaces, understands how to play that number 9 role a lot better. So it will be an added plus for us to have a Lyle Forster back in the team. You also look at what we have coming from the bench now. During AFCON, our starting lineup was really good, but from the bench, it was a little worrying, but you look at what we have coming from the bench now. Mukwana coming from the bench, playing on that right wing can really offer us a lot. For the Relebogile Mofokeng, who scored one of the most beautiful goals we've seen last weekend. That skill, that ability to do something that is unexpected in a game. We've got that coming from the bench now. So it's personally, I do feel like we're going to get a win in this game. I'll even go as far as saying it's going to be 2-1.
Straight to your voice notes and then taking your calls.
Attention. Turn it on. You're tuned in to Metro FM, the biggest and coolest radio station in South Africa. Banging on the radio. Where the hits never stop and entertainment on lock. Music turned up. Get ready for a musical journey like no other. Metro FM. It's where you want to be. Drop us a voice note on 060-552-7303. Waking up, turned up.
Evening. I think Maela, since that injury, was not 100% fit. As a player, he is okay. I won't agree with Nadim. But leadership skills, captaincy, it's true. He doesn't communicate.
Says he's okay,
not
not
as a
good.
captain. People like Bokoki and our goalkeeper, he doesn't communicate.
Imagine
He's
a
quite
captain who
there.
doesn't communicate.
As a captain, no, but as a player, he's okay. Hey, but you're too harsh, Nadim. Just be diplomatic at times.
Thank you.
Cecilia.
You see, with Nadim, if you are a player and you have a small heart, when Nadim speaks, you must make sure that you switch off the volume, so that Nadim can speak freely. Because why? If you have a small heart as a player,
you won't survive. I don't
make it with
survive,
Nadim.
Hi, Andy. I think Nadine, what? He's telling the truth. Maela is not a player for Pirates. Thanks.
Hi, Andile. Ubonkosi Mata from Dobsonville. And I won Mazor in the Bangalore of the show ya Friday. I Javoya, Nadine. I put the phone as an nickname. Nadine, no, I'm town, there's I'm town, the local. Thank you, Andile.
What? It's not about Nadim, guys.
Even in my and the rest of the team in the studio. I would like to agree with Nadim on the issue of Maela. He's being honest. Maela, he's a good player, but he doesn't fit the style of play of Orlando Pirates. If you see how Pirates are playing, are taking in terms of the right back and the left back, he does not fit. Even the coach tried to play him as a centre back, he does not fit. You have a good point, Mr. Nadim. For the first time ever, I agree with you.
I like him for the first time.
Hey, Mapara, Zulu and a team, you're telling the truth there on Maela. The truth hurts, but you're not being harsh. It's a truth.
Yeah, Andy, the call us here to tell the truth.
As for no good things in South Africa, you are not harsh, you're telling the truth. And then good luck to Bafana Bafana. Good luck to all the other guys that have been released by Ipakania, Obo Monare, Abo Erasmus, Abo Ofori. Just good luck to them. Now they must understand the Polangjalo.
Thank you. Out in KZN. Thank you so much. Let's take some calls now.
Good evening, Andy.
Oh, okay.
Upper Cosmo City. Hey, I disagree with this Pirates fan on a team. He gets too excited talking about Pirates. That guy, he loves the team very much, but I disagree with him. When he says Umayela he should also
love
live
Swallows.
in Pirates with the guys that are living in Pirates. I'm not a Pirates fan. I'm a Sandawana, but that guy is very good. He's very good. He's a solid defender. It's just that mistakes do happen in football, you know.
Right, let's go to the calls. Benzo out in Palm Ridge.
In the studio.
Hey, how's it, man?
Yeah, all good, all good. No, man, Andy, I just want to talk about the issue of Baroka, you know. Yeah, like I was looking at the Stellenbosch, like since when Stevie Parker was made a coach of that team. It's been like 7 years now. So why can't us, as like teams that have like black owners, like I'm sorry like to use this word, but teams that have black owners, copy the model of like Stellenbosch? Because look at the situation of like Baroka. Like, how do you change a coach in such a middle of very important games? So
Benzo, the number 1 team has black owners. The number 2 team has black owners. Why don't you copy their examples? Why must it be because the white owners? That's my only gripe here. Why would you choose a number 3 team? The black owners at number 1 and number 2. Number 2 has been there for 2 full seasons. Nothing has happened to him. Coach at number 1 has been there as a sole coach for now 2 seasons. And if you go back, he's been there for the last 6-7 years. Why would you go to a team that's number 3 because they have white owners?
No, like those teams, if like gonna make an example with Sundowns. Sundowns does not have, Baroka does not have resources the same as like Sundowns. So I'm just trying to make.
Who's the richest owner in the DStv Premiership?
Of course, like you will say, is the owner of like Stellenbosch, but
That means they've got resources.
Like his muscles as yet.
But they've got resources. You can't compare them. They've got university resources. They've got financial backup and muscle as well. I just don't think, I don't have a problem and an issue with what you're saying. If you're saying to me that they should emulate and learn from what Stellenbosch is doing, how they kept the coach even when he was losing, I think it was 11 without win a season ago. I hear that. My only issue is you are making it a color thing.
Yes, Anil, but remember, like when I said, like at first, I said sorry, like to like use this example, but I just have to use it. But I'm sorry if like it's a wrong thing like to say. But I'm just saying, Baroka, they are doing the same thing all over again. Why can't they copy then from like teams like Stellenbosch? Just trust in the coach, back the coach up, and you'll see like results. So I'm really like disappointed to see what they did, because then had a better chance of qualifying that team to come to the PSL. Now they've just ruled everything.
I hear you, Benzo. All I'm saying is, not everything that's white is great and everything that's black is not. Sometimes we need to back our own. I think that's where it begins. I think that's where it starts. Let's not look to say because it's white it's better. But thank you so much for your point, and I hear you. That is Benzo out in Palm Ridge. Guys, that's it. That's a wrap. Always great to have you.
Thank you so much, man.
Hey, madoda. Ungixishile naked. So isikhathi sakho shy in 5 seconds. Why ungixish? All the way out in Cape Town. Mark, we'll see you in the studio next week.
Most definitely.
Thank you so much. And Nadim, we appreciate you, brother. He's out of here. When's amakanga qedi? Suka. Hola, boy.
Hey, you good?
I'm always good. How are you?
Super. Can't complain. A little cold, but yeah, we're gonna bring the heat tonight.
It's Nigeria versus South Africa tonight on the pitch.
Yeah.
If you were to play at a club, Nigerian music versus South African music right now, play the best. I don't care for the genre. Play the best of Nigerian music and the best of South African music. What's moving the dance floor more?
Come on. Globally, I think it has to be Mapiano right now. I think before COVID, we all knew that Afrobeats was taking the world by storm.
Yeah.
But come on, you got to give it up to what all the South African youth, and it's a good thing that it is Youth Month. Yeah. The South African youth have put South African commercial and urban music on a huge global platform. They're flying that flag out there high, and you just have to be proud of them.
So Tyler Mshai Ariana Star.
Look, right now, look, commercially, come on. You know, Tyler's name is on everybody's lips. Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck to Bafana Bafana tonight.
That's 1 after the hour 7. Join the boys.
Yeah. Well, look, hold on. And you haven't asked me what's coming up
what's
on
going
the
on
show.
the show?
Look, I know you love reading books.
It's my thing.
So, if there was no book left on planet Earth, which rapper would you listen to? Or which rapper would you allow your kids to listen to? Because you're like, you know what? This guy sounds like he puts thought in his raps.
Yeah, new school, I'd have to think between Kendrick and J. Cole.
Okay.
Old school, I'd probably lean towards Nas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd go Nas.
Okay.
I know you can.
All right.
Be what you want to be.
100% behind you.
Why?
Yeah.
What do you ask?
We've got a feature called 16 Bars here on the show where we profile the best 16 bars of the week.
Woo!
So you need to tune in for that one coming up much later on the show.
Gotta get out of here. From me and my whole team, we'll do it again on Monday. Mazola comes into studio. Maybe we'll give us more details on that Swallows sale. Pela. And me.
Where I want to be.
It's about damn time.
It's the place to be.
How we feeling? Turn up the music.
At the convergence of the melody and rhythm and the voice and the people who can hear it, love it, dance to it, and rejoice. Where the beat is the message and the message upbeat. Where ignorance is erased and information sets the pace. Where ambition is the mission, the destination, inspiration. And the fuel in the tank is pure unleaded perspiration. Cause this is